Hey everyone, Dave Markowitz here, part of the Dave and Neta real estate team, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips. This is also a podcast as well, and just want to take the time to thank everyone for watching again. And today we have a really interesting show. It's about the real estate market in Las Vegas. And if you noticed, I've been kind of doing different interviews around the country to get more of an aspect of what's happening in the country in general of the real estate market. So I'm proud to have a very close friend of mine, Jack Greenberg, and Jack is part of the Realty One group, but also part of Jack Greenberg Real Estate team. So Jack, thanks so much for taking the time today. I know we've all been busy. But as I want to get started, just let's dive in and tell us a little bit about Jack Greenberg.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm honored to be on your podcast. I listen to it. I watch it. So it's real exciting. Thanks for having me part of it. Been a realtor in Las Vegas for 17 years now.
Wow.
So been doing it for a little bit and seen the ups and downs. And we've had a lot of ups recently now that we're past that crazy market in '07 or in '08. So exciting times in Las Vegas, and we're growing like crazy, and it's not all about gaming anymore, which is exciting.
It's not all about gaming. Was it all about gaming, let's say, in the past 10 years, basically, and the market's changed, or you've seen a change?
Yeah, so in '07 and '08, when we had that massive crash, a lot of homeowners and were tied to working at casinos. So now we have so much more going on besides gaming. Golden Knights showed up a couple of years ago and made the Stanley Cup the first year. You can go there on a Tuesday night and it's completely jam-packed. So there is so much more to Las Vegas now than just gaming. And you can tell by the casinos. They used to try to attract people only for gaming, but now it's sports. It's a lot of concerts, entertainment, nightclubs. So the whole city has really changed.
And it's interesting you talked about the crash, because that's actually one of my questions I wanted to ask you a little bit further in the interview. But since we're already here, let's just hammer it in. Has the market pretty much recuperated or passed the crash as we know it, in your opinion?
It definitely has. And, it was such a hard hit that people are always paranoid. When is it going to happen again, right? And I'm sure you get that question asked yourself, is when is it going to happen again? It's been 10 years. Is it coming? Is it going? And that's why the numbers are so important to me and why I watch them so closely. Is right now we currently have enough inventory for about a month and a half, which tells you that it's still a strong seller's market. Anytime we see enough inventory for about 6 months or over, then it's a buyer's market. So the market is doing great. The concerns of having that market crash again, I don't see it by watching the numbers. Last month in December, we had 3,600 homes sold. Year before in December, we had 3,200. So we went up by 400. So the market's is doing great.
So you're saying you have about a month and a half worth of inventory, and that's kind of like us. We're also having a really big shortage. We're at about a 3-month aspect at this point. And as we both know, 6 months is really the norm. So even on our end, it's still a really big seller's market, no inventory. Do you think that a lot of that's due to interest rates at this point? And where do you see, I know you're not Nostradamus, but kind of give me where do you see interest rates are going for the next year?
That's definitely been a huge plus is interest rates. But it's hard for me to speak on other markets, and that's why I enjoy your videos and a lot of stuff you put out there, because it does put me in touch with that California market. But us in Las Vegas, we have such growth here that in the next 3 to 5 years, we have 200,000 people moving from California.
Is that, can I interrupt you for a second? Is that because the Raiders are also building a stadium right there and moving?
A lot of agents out here are talking about that and chalking it up to Raiders are coming. But at the end of the day, that's just 8 home games a year. So we're not banking everything on that. To give you kind of some facts about Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders are going to play, it's sitting on 62 acres, costs $1.8 billion to build. So this thing is going to be massive. It's going to hold about 65,000 people, and they're splitting their time with the Raiders. Obviously, that's the big name, but the UNLV football team is going to play there as well. There's going to be some massive concerts going on as well, and you know what's coming with the new stadium, the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So speaking of football, here in the next couple months, we're actually having for the first time the NFL draft here. So they're actually going to be closing part of the strip down in front of the Bellagio for about 3 days and having the NFL draft. So it's awesome what's coming to town.
It's really interesting. Sorry.
Why they're leaving California is a question you can answer, right? I mean, the property taxes are lower in Vegas, and when you sell their home for them in California, they can get much more for their money out here, right? We don't have a beach out here in Vegas yet, but we do at the Mandalay Bay. You know, there's a beach there, but that's kind of why, you know, people are retiring here, coming for the prices out here, and that's kind of why.
The only way I see a beach in Vegas is if we have a massive earthquake, like they've said, but we won't get to that.
Or if the casinos build one, you never know. They build everything out here. So
that's interesting. So sports is one entity, different job markets. What other sectors do well in terms of industry? I know, you know, besides the hotel industry, is tech coming there? Is healthcare there? Do you know about any other industries that are kind of diversifying Vegas now as we speak?
Yeah, and you could really see it on driving on the freeway. I was driving the other day, and we had a huge McGregor fight just a couple days ago, right, on Saturday night. But when I was driving with the client to show him houses just off the freeway, you see the massive Raider Stadium, and then you see UFC, massive office buildings. So you have that coming in, you have Tesla coming in, you have so much more than gaming coming in. And Vegas is probably one of the biggest places in the world for conventions. We always have conventions going on and exciting stuff. This actually expanding the Las Vegas Convention Center, spending about $1.4 million to give it more room, and also joining with Tesla. And I'm sure you guys are doing this in California too, but building an underground transportation with Tesla in order to make it quicker to get to the convention center.
Is that the boring company that he's doing, where he's digging something underground? So he's starting in Vegas as a testing point?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a testing point, but believe it or not, they actually already started. So this is kind of this futuristic stuff that we're thinking is way down the road. It actually already started. So it's exciting stuff. And we have MSG Sphere coming in Madison Square Garden. They're building and they're opening in 2021. It's going to be 360 feet tall, wrapped with ultra high definition screens all around it. And it's going to be incredible. So a lot of exciting stuff here in Vegas.
Have you heard about the rail system from California? They've been talking about it for a while, from LA or from California to Vegas. And is that talk in Vegas side? Because I can see if that happens, there's another industry of a boom coming into Vegas as well.
Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing for many years now, but they finally got the green light on it. So that's going to get started as well. I don't have too many details on what the start date is, but if you can get to Vegas in 45 minutes, it's definitely going to be a huge plus. So back to our original question. I'm sorry I went on here quite a bit about all the new and exciting stuff, but that's the reason I feel that the market here is still going to be so strong, is the fact that we have so many people moving here. Anywhere you go in Vegas, you can see that new construction coming up. So new home builders are constantly putting in new neighborhoods.
So as an investor, because as you said, people are either cashing out of California. Again, Vegas also doesn't have state income tax, which is a plus, which many people may not know. So as we're cashing out here and buying up real estate in Vegas, as an investor, what do you recommend?
I work with a lot of investors from out of state, and it's definitely a great place for that. Being for the fact that we do have so many people coming and going, and with the Raiders coming in, they're building a massive practice facility. With the Golden Knights, with all these sports teams, we have a soccer team. We have an exciting new AAA baseball team that was just built a new arena in the Summerlin Mall. So with all this gives tons of potential for rental properties. And all my investors who buy properties out here, and I don't just speak about it, I believe in it myself. I have rental properties. You don't see it being a problem to fill those places. Usually in under 30 days, we can find a tenant.
Wow. So there's, as from what you're saying, there's not a shortage of, let's say, putting people in place, and actually also overbuilding as what we thought happened in 2008, where, you know.
Yeah, I mean that time was extremely crazy, and people say you must have had a hard time, and I'm actually in a way happy that I went through that and learned about it. I see a lot of new agents coming into the marketplace now and feel, oh, this is great and everything's going good, but they don't know what it's like when you go through something like that. And the challenge we had, to be honest with you, at that time when the market was crashing and the new home builders kept building, was the price jumps, right? You could totally see something was going to come when one day I'm selling a house in a new community, and then I bring another buyer a couple of months from there, and the price has jumped by 30-40%.
So
That's not healthy.
appreciation factor was astonishing, is what you're saying.
It was insane. It wasn't. I mean, the writing was on the wall. Where now, every year, we're gradually going up in a market that I feel is going to stay strong for that reason alone.
So it's a healthy market, and I feel that's the same that's going on over here. Again, it goes back to inventory for both of us. You know, it just, that's the way the market is. But I do think it's more of a healthy market that we're both having at this point. You know, how let me ask you, how do you find your clients in Vegas?
I've been doing it for a long time now. So a lot of my business, and I just did my plan for 2020 and reflected back on 2019, and 90% of it was for what we call in the real estate industry, my sphere of influence.
Okay.
So those are, for people not in the business, those are your clients. Those are your clients you've had. And to me, they turn into friends, and they're like family to me. Every year I have a client appreciation party where I have raffles for prizes. Every couple months I bring a gift basket. And they're pretty excited about that basket because I have my wife's goat milk soap. And don't judge a book by its cover. Even though I live in Vegas, I live on a farm. We have goats, chickens, a horse, pig, all that great stuff. So my wife actually milks the goats and makes soap out of it. So my clients really look forward to that when I drop off their little basket, that soap that we keep in there for them. So to answer your question, about 90% is from repeat business or from referrals.
Do you specialize in horse property? Because I know you've talked about that and you just mentioned it. Is that one of your specialties out in your area?
Are you asking me that because I perked up a little bit when I talked about horse?
Yeah, your hair flew behind your ears a little bit. I kind of wanted to find that out.
I love horse property. It's kind of an area that a lot of agents don't want to touch or get a little intimidated because of septic tanks, wells, a lot of stuff that you typically don't see on a regular track home where you would see on a horse property. So it is my passion. It is what I love. And it's not necessarily all I specialize in, but I love helping clients get horse property. I actually just closed a couple of months ago with a veteran who was getting a VA loan. And it was super exciting to me for the fact that his wife has had horses forever and always boarded it at a facility. But to have her horses in her own backyard and help a veteran out was just incredible to me. So that's why I kind of get so excited by that.
I think that's a really great niche, because I know you do it all, but that specialize of one area, people don't really know. You know, they think Vegas, the city lights and whatnot, and they don't realize, hey, there's some pretty good, decent pieces of land out there still. And again, going back to bang for your buck, cashing out here, going to Vegas, and you get horse property. So it's pretty insane.
It is. And when I first moved here over 20 years ago, and I had my friends ask me, so where do you live on the strip? I mean, that's what it's come down to, where now, I mean, you can, Northwest in Vegas or Summerlin or these areas, Henderson, it's a good 30-minute drive to the strip. So we've really expanded here in Las Vegas.
The schools out in Vegas, tell me a little about the schools.
The schools in Vegas, that's a little disappointing conversation I have with clients who move out of state when they ask me, how's the school district? And the one thing about me and why I've been in the business so long is being honest. And the fact that we're ranked 48th is kind of painful, but it's reality. So there are some good schools in here, but we need a little bit of help along those lines. We do have some great magnet programs. My daughter actually is in her first year of high school.
Wow.
Wow, that makes me feel old. But
anyway,
she's in her thank you. Her first year of high school, and she's in a magnet program and a veterinarian program. So we do have some great magnet schools in here that offer tech programs, and there are some great schools. But anytime when I'm showing clients houses who do have kids, we definitely take that in consideration, and we kind of help them navigate through that.
Interesting. I want to talk to you about a little bit more about marketing, as I know me and you bounce a lot of ideas off each other, which I love. And you recently started a show that I want you to tell people about called Farm Fridays. You started it off as a 1 or 2, 3 shows, and it's growing like crazy. And tell us about it and how you got involved in it, and give us, tell us about this Farm Friday show. I got to hear about it.
Exactly what you mentioned. I mean, our marketing, we've been wanting to do video for a long time, and it's one of those things where you don't get comfortable until you start doing them. And when I started doing them, I did videos on home inspections, what to expect at a home inspection. I did one where I interviewed loan officers, and people only enjoy listening to real estate so much. So I live on a farm, so I said, how about I do something with animals? So I was joking with my wife, how about a Farm Friday? And she's like, I don't know if people are going to be interested in that. But like you said, horse property is so unique. I guess even in California or, a lot of states, you don't see that, only in certain areas. So we started it. And my first episode was about our goats. And it started getting a ton of views. And then we talked about our chickens, and we did one on our tortoise and our pig, and it kept growing and growing. And when I was seeing clients or even seeing strangers around the office wearing a Farm Friday t-shirt, when's your next episode? And it just floored me how when I was doing real estate videos, we would get on Facebook, maybe, 20, 30 people, to all of a sudden 2,000, 3,000 people watching Farm Friday. So now the only problem is I'm running out of animals. So now I'm having to do videos asking people, can I borrow your animal, or can we talk about your animal? And recently we have one that's going to air in a couple of weeks where we're doing dog rescues now. I have a client who rescued a dog and is having a hard time finding them a home. So we're going to do a Farm Friday and hopefully get in front of a couple thousand people who can help find this gorgeous dog a home.
That is a great idea. So again, it goes back to you're helping people, and that's what I know you like doing. And when you're giving back and you're doing out of your goodness of your heart, everything comes back to you, man. You're doing awesome. You've been kicking ass. Love it.
Are we going to get a Farm Friday California edition coming up? Or?
You know what? I'm looking for content, so
okay,
maybe. We are actually we're in Calabasas, but we're also in the Conejo Valley, Gore Hills, and where we're at, there's a lot of farm area, horse property, let's say. So you never know, but there's a lot of properties in our area that's kind of like that. Also, mostly are not on septic anymore, but we do run into some of that. So it's pretty interesting that you have to kind of be prepared and let your clients know about septic.
Definitely. And when you're dealing with properties that have septics, as you're aware, that in order to get an inspection on a septic, you have to get it pumped. So there's a lot of things that come across with septic inspections and well inspections. And do you have water rights on that property? And what happens when you run out of your water? Do you have water rights, or do you have to connect now with the city? What is that expense to connect to the city for water? So there's a lot of things that are involved with the purchase on horse property.
Well, that's where you come in as the expert, which is phenomenal. Again, not everybody can do it, and you really have to dig in deep to learn all the laws and bylaws, but you're the expert. That's great. So where can people find you? Where can we find out about Farm Fridays? Give us your, to connect with you.
You could just go to YouTube and put in Jack Sells Vegas, and all the videos will pop up there. We try to put one out every Friday. And my email is soldbyjack@gmail.com. Phone number 702-400-4400. If you guys have any questions about the Vegas market, I'd love to answer any questions you have. And can't wait to see you do a Farm Friday California edition. And keep posting that amazing content that you're putting on. I really enjoy when you go into restaurants, and I even remember one you did at a shoe store, and one with a DJ. It's all exciting stuff. So I'm definitely.
You know what? That means a lot to Neta and I. We really appreciate it. It is a lot of work, but it is giving back to our clients as well, and it is making us part of our community, which we want to be and which we are. So that means a lot to us. We appreciate that. And I'm going to put all your information, by the way, down below so people will see your email, your website, your phone number. So, guys, if you're ever in Vegas, need any help, Jack Greenberg's the guy. Reach out to him. He knows his stuff, and he is experienced. So, Jack, thanks so much for taking the time today. You've been awesome, and can't wait to see you back out in California, my brother.
Yes, I'll be there soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Be well.
Thanks for having me.
Talk soon. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.